And the wife was saying, do not
bring her here. Yeah.
They did not want no type of problems with that. But essentially, they give her the adrenaline shot in the heart, and she wakes right up.
Right.
And she snaps right out of it. And I kind of heard that's how it works, too. Like, you hit them in the heart with it, and they kind of immediately wake up when it works. Sometimes it doesn't work, and the person expires. But now we get to a scene, like you were saying, where Tarantino mixes up focus points of movies. So now we get to where we're showing Butch as a kid. It jumps right into a scene with Butch as a kid watching TV. His mother brings in a military guy who talks to him and says that I'm your father's buddy from the military. He tells him a war story about the grandfather having a watch, a timepiece, watch, whatever, and wanting in the war with I want to say Korea, giving it to Korean soldiers saying that I know I'm getting ready to die. Make sure my son gets it. So Butch is hearing a story about how the grandfather got a watch to his father, and then this watch is given to him. The weirdest thing, and if I ever met Quentin Tarantino, I would have to ask him, Quentin, why would you put in there in the story that
they put it up their
ass for 5 years?
5 years.
And then the other guy did it for 2 years. So it's been up 2 people's butt for 7 years total, and you're giving it to a little kid.
I mean,
that was the weirdest story ever.
It was.
So I got to ask Quentin if I ever meet him, like, why would you put that in the story? Because he actually could have just left that part out of the story.
He could have left
the
that
butt
part
stuff
out.
could have been left out. But it was funny when I first saw it. Even when I saw it recently watching, I was like, that's just hilarious that they put it in their butt. But I mean, I guess you do what you got to do. But to give that watch to a kid, it's almost like, why would you even? He came to his house to tell him this story, give him this watch. But so, and Butch wakes up, and I'm assuming Butch was dreaming, because he wakes up from that meeting with his father's army friend to wake up with a bell ringing, because now he's in the back room of a boxing event and he's getting ready to go fight now. So that was kind of dope how Quentin did that too.
I agree.
He took him to the childhood. He woke up in reality, getting ready to fight. That was kind of dope. It played an important part because that watch meant a lot to him. And we found out later how much it
meant to him.
How much it actually meant to him.
Right.
You know, it was all fun and games when the military guy was telling the story, but in the end, that watch meant a lot to him. Like it meant he was willing to risk his life for that watch.
Absolutely.
And we all have those little trinkets that our grandmothers, grandfathers, people in our lineage might leave for us and stuff. So I get it. You know, my father's left me a lot of stuff that I would never get rid of. So I kind of get it. And it was actually kind of good that we saw Butch as a kid, because they didn't really give us a lot of information about Butch. We understood that he had this thing going on with Marcellus about throwing the fight, but that's all we really understood until we got to them showing him as a kid, and you seen his mom, and the whole watch story and stuff like that. So that was kind of cool. It was done in the right way because it wasn't over explained. He didn't spend too much time on it.
No, he didn't.
A lot of directors will spend a lot of time developing a character, their backstory. And I think the sweet spot is just give people what they need to know. Don't, overdo it. You know what I'm saying? So I think he did it wonderful with Butch's character. The problem is Butch wakes up, he fights, he kills his opponent, does not take the dive, which is what he was paid to do by Marcellus Wallace, which automatically puts his life in jeopardy. You cannot do that. When you pay by, quote unquote, the mafia to throw a fight, you better throw the damn fight.
Right.
So, which lets you know that when Butch was sitting down initially with Marcellus, he knew he wasn't going to throw the fight.
He knew he wasn't.
He was literally lying right there in his face. Even when he repeated it to Marcellus, he was never going to throw the fight. But not only did he didn't throw the fight, he killed the opponent. Like that was crazy. It was crazy that he did that. So he kills his opponent. The next thing you see is a great scene with him throwing his bag out the window. Look like he's like 3 stories up. He throws the bag out the window on top of the taxi. He jumps out the window. He's in the taxi. And at this point, Marcellus is pissed.
Yeah.
He is pissed.
He's heated.
He is heated to the point where he say he don't care where in the world he's at. We're gonna find him. You send whoever you got to find, no matter what part of the earth he's on, find him. So I'm assuming that Marcellus put a lot of money on that fight and lost
a lot
of money. A lot. And we found out later that Butch did the opposite. He laid some bets around town on himself.
Right.
And he made that outcome happen to benefit him.
Right.
That just shows you how clever Butch was in this whole thing. Like he seemed like the, quote unquote, dumb jock, dumb boxer. He had mapped it all out from the very beginning. Like, I'm going to take his money. I'm going to make him give me some money.
Right.
Then I'm going to do the opposite of what I need him to do. I mean, what I was supposed to do and make more money. So he actually ended up being, a pretty smart guy in the whole thing. So he gets in a cab. He goes, and I definitely want to ask you about this. He goes to the motel to his girlfriend. They spend a lot of time. They spent a good 11, 12 minutes. I timed it with them in the motel from when he got from the boxing match to when they left the motel. Why do you think Quentin spent so much time? He spent more time in that scene with those two in that motel than any other scene in the movie. What do you think he was trying to tell the viewers in showing that much screen time between those two people in that hotel room?
I think without that scene, you're looking at Butch as, sort of like, boxer / henchman, if you will, working underneath Marcellus in this situation, right? You could tell that although we don't see him doing like criminal activities, he's definitely not a straight-laced boxer. Like he's come from some